What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Skyrim Mods when Everly, episode 211. 211 episodes later, we have one of the most groundbreaking mods I've ever seen in the history of modding video games. It may or may not be a sex mod, but that's not the point, alright? The point is, it's groundbreaking, it's innovative, it's next generation. My hat is still on sale. It's actually limited edition, which I totally forgot to mention last time, and I'm totally slipping this in. 9 days left. Roll the intro. So at this point, we've all probably played through the opening scene of Skyrim multiple times. We can practically recite Rayloff's lines in our sleep. It's so boring and dreadful, we might as well just go to sleep. But what if I told you that there's a mod out right now that could make you actually want to play the opening scene all over again? This is the opening scene overhaul. Apparently there was lots of unused dialogue, alternate voice actors, and all that jazz that Bethesda was hiding from us for a more detailed and less dumbed down intro. For starters, Loki is a completely different voice actor. He's actually not a bitch for once.
Divines, please help me.
Taking it to Ulfric, taking it to Rayloff, blaming the Stormcloaks.
You traitor! You're the reason we're here!
Unfortunately, he still gets shot down like a bitch at the end. Even the list guy, Hadvar, has a completely different voice actor. A kind of nonchalant, I really don't give a fuck that you're dying kind of voice though.
Sorry, orders is orders. Too bad you got caught up in this mess.
The vanilla one seemed a lot more sympathetic.
I'm sorry. At least you'll die here, in your homeland.
When you arrive at Helgen, this time around you can actually hear Elenwyn and Tullius having the conversation.
You are making a terrible mistake.
It's a really nice touch, but goddamn, must you have some sensitive ears. You must be Daredevil. In the vanilla game, NPCs are just like, hey, what's that in the clouds? What do you see? And Alduin is already on the tower. Now they say it before Alduin arrives while he's still in the sky, which makes a lot more sense.
What in oblivion is that?
Sentries, what do you see?
He's also added a ton more reaction to the World Eater arriving. Screams of panic and chaos fill the air,
Don't just stand there! Kill that thing! Guards, get it down!
which adds more of a sense of urgency and fear, rather than it just going kind of quiet in the vanilla game. This time around, you'll also be greeted by a more touching scene between father and son. Instead of father being roasted and son running away, they'll exchange a few last words while everybody tells the kid to get the fuck out of there.
Get off the road, boy!
In the vanilla game, Ulfric says, we need to get going now. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed or paid attention, but Ulfric never gets going. Now, with this mod on, he will actually follow you and you can escape together. He actually has dialogue for when he escapes with you and Rayloff. It's unbelievable. He's not just following you quietly, he says a lot.
Between us and the dragon, not many Imperials will be getting out of Helgen alive.
Which makes me wonder why they excluded this. Maybe because Ulfric following you in the beginning would make it too easy. But then again, this is kind of a tutorial area, which makes it even more awkward when my Ulfric dies. Like, what the fuck? At some point, the cave collapses and you and Rayloff are separated from Ulfric, and the rest is history. I was actually very pleasantly surprised by this mod. The beginning tells us more about the current conflict. The extra lines here and there really set the mood. The addition of escaping with Ulfric, all of the same result and the same timing, yet still a vastly better beginning. This is an incredible mod. Carrying on the theme of chopping people's heads off, we have another mod in which people's heads are chopped off. It's called Public Executions. The premise of this mod is that the people of Skyrim obviously enjoy good public decapitation, but why is it that after Uncle Rogvir's head is chopped off, no other heads ever get chopped off? We need more heads getting chopped off, and this mod fulfills our need for virtual heads to be chopped off. And I have good news, a head will be chopped off every single day now. Preparation for executions begin at 6 a.m. The executioner's buddies step on stage. From 4 to 6, the prisoner will go with the jailer to the chopping block. And once 6 o'clock comes by, the execution begins. The execution of the executioners, because I need more heads to be chopped off. Heads roll all over the ground, the crowd cheers, and apparently I don't get in trouble because these NPCs were added by a mod and aren't real NPCs. That happens every day, but the real fun comes from bringing your own prisoners. prisoners. Apparently this whole execution shit has a merchandise guy. He'll sell you all kinds of head chopping merchandise, from the outfit to the axe to a poison dagger, which is what you're gonna need to capture your prisoners. Your prisoners being bandits, because that's pretty much the only group of people where it's acceptable to dehead them in public, I guess. To capture a prisoner, simply take his health down to 20%, hit him with the dagger. He will now become a friendly NPC in which you can talk to. Now comes the hardest part, actually talking to him before something kills him. I must have spent half an hour trying to talk to one prisoner. Like, seriously? Fucking seriously, Giant? Where did you even come from? A heart failure? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Anyways, finally got this poor bastard. Brought him back with me, collected my 400 gold, watched him get his head chopped off. It was a good day. It was a really good day. Do you enjoy tentacles? This is Tentacalooza. Oh shit, wait a minute. No, it's Tentapool. Oh fuck. That's exactly what I meant to say. I totally meant Tentapalooza. This mod is, yeah, it's about tents. So how many of you guys remember Chesko's Campfire? Quite possibly the most immersive mod ever made for Skyrim. Well, Tentapalooza is basically gonna be its DLC, its add-on. So this pack includes everything this person has pretty much ever made. This includes 8 custom textured bedrolls in many different colors, a witch-themed campfire set, including animated magic effects, 3 chairs, a cauldron, mammoth's cheese with Pino's entire family tree on top of that shit. If you're playing like a Redguard, no racist, he has a dig site camping gear, which includes canvas tents and Ashlander tents. He also has a vampire tent. If you're a vampire character, you can't go wrong. You got your own goddamn coffin. You have placeable shrines, plenty of storage items, a pet bed. That's for you, Jessica Alba. You also have custom follower tents so that your followers will lay down when you do. If you don't, they sleep on the snow. That's right, Jessica Alba. Sleep on that snow, bitch. Just kidding. And probably the coolest tent is the Conjured tent, which actually isn't really a tent. It's actually a giant blue bubble. Comes with your own blossom tree, drink, and snow elf floor. And because these things are integrated with Campfire, you can interact with them, lay down, turn on the light, talk to your follower while you're laid down, toggle the view so that it actually makes your tent see-through like you're playing the fucking Sims or something. They're all craftable and obtainable through the Campfire system, whether it be with the tanning rack or using the survival ability. And a feature that I think is new with Campfire, you can even burn this shit down and get arrested for camping out at Ellis Heath's room. But who cares? I'm the Thane. You know how you keep getting steel armors in this game and they look exactly the same as everybody else's steel armor? It's like some factory out there in China's not China. In Akaviri is producing these things like hotcakes. There shouldn't be factories during this time period. Everything should be custom and individually made. And that's the beauty of this next armor mod, the Book of UUNP Iron and Steel Volume 1. So this mod actually adds over 223 unique armor pieces to the game. 70% of those will most likely be slooty. It goes from like a 2 to a 10 real fast. Now when you find a steel armor, you might not just throw it out immediately. You might actually check to see if it's a variation you might want. You might be a collector and try to collect every single variation of each armor. Variety is the spice of life. I think this is a brilliant idea, and this man does have some talents for mashing vanilla pieces. Next up, we have quite possibly the most advanced and innovative mod ever created for Skyrim. It's also a sex mod. But then again, all of the most advanced and innovative mods were sex mods. Just take a look at Schlongs of Skyrim. You controlled your dick with your arrow keys. The innovation was unreal. Alright, I'm lying, guys. It's not a sex mod. It is actually an animation framework that's mostly gonna be used for sex. There's a lot of shit to look at through this interface. Half of it you probably won't even know what it is, but they probably have to deal with hot virtual sex. First of all, if you're a big fan of using poses in this game, he has an interface for pretty much every single pose mod ever created, so you can easily slide through every single pose. I had no idea there were even this many pose mods in existence. There's an equipment interface showing what you have equipped in all 62 slots. I had no idea we had that many slots to equip items on. This basically allows you to take off any single garments you have on when engaging in possible certain activities, in which this mod is definitely not the aim for. You can quickly undress and redress with a click of a button here. He even has an info section called body scales. This takes Skyrim's scaling system and applies it to real life. Apparently Alex Strauss is 6 feet tall and weighs 159 pounds. You can also inspect other people and pull up something called a profile. Profiles are fictional biographies made by the user to, I guess, add their own lore and custom backstory and fully flesh out otherwise one-dimensional NPCs. You can change the language, you can change the key bindings, you can change the colors, and just all kinds of other great information and toggleable settings. But that's just the side dish. The main course is actually the modules. Currently, there's only about 2 modules. One of them involves fornication and the other is just a demo. To begin a scene, simply select a male NPC and select a female NPC. Once you're in the scene, you can start modifying certain attributes of the scene. Like lighting, there's bright and dim lighting for your face and butt, because I guess that's the only 2 things we're actually paying attention to in the scene. You can even undress and dress in real time, as well as alternate actors. Now, Osa also boasts a persona system, basically attempting to make scenes come alive by adding personality to your character. This includes the voice type, the facial expression, and other sounds and stuff. This is not a sex mod, alright? In reaction to whatever action is performed in the scene. This will make every scene feel more alive and realistic instead of just 2 expressionless figures doing whatever it is in the scene, which doesn't have to be sex. And here's the meat and potatoes of this mod. You're basically in complete control of each scene. Using the numpad, you decide the course of action between the 2 actors in a sort of tree of events. Let's say you do one thing, you're then presented with several other options to do after that to create your own unique scene, which could be anything and not just sex. I will use sex as an example, which this mod totally doesn't have to be used for. You could go one way, or you could go the other. You can go from kissing to hugging, you could go from hugging to skull fucking. Like, it's completely up to you. The scene is all under your control. So right now, yes, there's only a sex module called O-Sex, but he does plan on creating some type of combat module, and hopefully the community will come together and create other great modules that don't have to deal with fornication. This is actually just one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in modding. This is just like when modding goes too far. It's become too realistic for me to handle. I'm just gonna quit like tomorrow. That is it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed all the mods featured in this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Looking for some cheap games? Check out g2a.com. Use my code MXR for 3% off. There's a link down below.